Everybody, welcome back into Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. Before the Manning Academy comes into town and to Nichols State and the Lyman Camp comes in, the Louisiana Girls Leadership Academy will be there June 11th through the 15th. Here to talk about is Dr. Laura Batto, of course, Louisiana Center for Women in Government and Business, NSU, and President of the Lafourche Commission for Women, and Kristen Ensoming, who is the chair of Louisiana Girls Leadership Academy and director of marketing at Nichols. So, guys, thanks for being here. What is this Leadership Academy? Obviously, it's for girls and to help them. I think girls are doing pretty good right now. There's a lot of the girls have done well over the last decade for sure.
But there's a lot to learn.
Without a doubt.
Right.
Without a doubt.
I mean, the Girls Leadership Academy goes through different programs to help girls become effective leaders. Now, that's a very important word, Harry.
Sure.
Effective. Because if you get the project done and it's all done, you're successful. But if nobody wants to work with you after that, you're ineffective. Right. So our goal is to make effective leaders.
That is actually well spoken, and I do like that because a lot of times it is just what people say behind somebody's back, or she's kind of moody, or stereotypical women things. I think it is changing, and we've seen that with a lot of good leaders over the past. So tell me about the program a little more.
Sure. So this year we are really excited to be welcoming 54 young women from across the state. There's not an interview process, but an application process, and then Laura and myself select. So that way we have a great group of young women, and that way they have the opportunity to network and to work with different types of personalities from all over the state of Louisiana. The program will take place at Nichols, so we're excited to show off our beautiful campus, and we're going to actually be partnering with student government and student programming to give leadership mentors, which is the first year that we've actually done this. So a lot of our programming this year, we are going through the different basics of leadership, so conquering communications.
Let me just tell them one thing before this. Okay, communicate. It's Laura. Communicate. Yeah. Okay, now because I want people to understand why we are across the state and not just Lafourche and Terrebonne. Because good leaders have to be able to work with people from other backgrounds and from other cultures. So that's why we went across the state. So our girls can meet other girls, but I will say we take the most from Lafourche and Terrebonne. Right. But I want them to know that. That's why, because people say all the time, why across the state, Laura? Because you need that to be effective.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's a competitive program. The young women that come to the program usually return for a second year in the program. They're allowed to do 2 years, and after that they can move on into counselor positions. So it is competitive, and we have participants that come back, and they're currently, like, we have one from Florida State University that's coming back, and she said, I've attended countless leadership programs, but there's nowhere else where the camaraderie and the curriculum was as complete as here. So we really take a lot of pride in our program and putting this together, and as soon as the program wraps on the 15th, we'll start all over again with our survey results and what kind of programming can we include.
Can you tell them what the titles are of the programs?
Sure, absolutely. So we kick off with the ABCs of running for office with Dr. Laura Batto, and she'll talk about the election process. And one thing that's unusual about the program and very cool is that the young women in their groups actually get to elect a leader that will actually run for office. And then at the end, there will be an ambassador selected. And that ambassador helps when deciding what sessions to come back. And so the ABCs of running for office, we have Conquering Communications, which is communications through improv. We have 2 leadership panels, one with government officials and one with business entrepreneurs. We have Words Whispered in Water with Sandy Rosenthal. We love Sandy. Sandy teaches the girls that you can take on the big guys and win a case. She was effective in she took on the Army Corps of Engineers and won after Hurricane Katrina and exposed some falsies. And she actually runs a really levees.org,
Yeah.
and she has a successful podcast about how to beat the big guys. So she is a huge supporter. And so we have her session. We have Dress for Success with Lori and Stephanie, and that's really great. And the participants, everything's very interactive. So they will put forth like what they think, and then these experts come in and will critique the outfits and tell you why you can't do this at a certain event, and what does business casual really mean, and what does after 5 mean, and things like that, things that sometimes we don't always know. Trying to think of all the programs because I talk really fast too. Sonia Perez, we're really excited to have Sonia Perez joining us. Do you want to talk about that?
She is a big pusher of leadership, and especially our program. Sonia, if nobody knows, is the CEO of all the southern states, the AT&T, and she's going to tell us, she's going to tell these girls how she climbed.
Sure.
Sonia from Mexico, nothing. CEO of all
AT&T.
the southern states, AT&T. And just want to say one thing. Knowledge can't make us all leaders, but it can sure show us the leader that we should follow.
Right, without a doubt. And look, you said a good point about politicians. I mean, you make up 50%, women do 50% of our electorate, and hadn't been represented. Again, I think things are moving in the right direction. I've worked for a lot of big companies where diversity, inclusion, equity have all big parts of what it's doing. So, man, it's much needed. Still a long way to go, but I think you guys are making a difference now. You could feel it turn.
As long as the girls understand that people are not going to judge you by the questions you answer, they're going to judge you by the answers that you give.
Absolutely. Well, the Girls Leadership Academy, June 11th through the 15th. That'll do it for this edition. We'll be right back with more Bayou Time after this.